Hi there, this is Solitude Ronin from Solitude Ronin Films, and welcome to another random review. And today's random review is of Denis Villeneuve's Incendies from 2010. And I just want to say, wow. This, to me, is automatically one of the best films in the last 20 years. It's stunningly good. It's based on a play by Waji Muawad, which I've probably butchered his name and I apologise. I'm kind of late to the Denis Villeneuve films, but every film of his that I've seen, I've really liked. I wouldn't say he's a great filmmaker, but by today's standards, he's a great filmmaker. But he is a very good filmmaker. I've still to see Polytechnic, his early film about a school shooting, and then he did Incendies, and then he did Prisoners, which is still in my backlog, Enemy with Jake Gyllenhaal, which is a nice wee film, and then he did Arrival, which is a very good science fiction film, and then he did Blade Runner 2049, which I was dreading as a fan of Blade Runner, but I was actually pleasantly surprised at how good it is and how similar in tone it was to the original. He is slated, well, I think June is in post-production and is going to be released next year, and there's also going to be a TV miniseries that he's directed at least one episode of. And his next project, staying with the epic, is Cleopatra, which will be coming out in probably 2022. His films are generally intelligent. He doesn't explain every little thing like quite a lot of modern filmmakers do. He expects the audience to actually pay attention. He expects the audience to be able to work things out for themselves. His films are always shot beautifully. This one was shot by Andre Turpin, who's done a lot of work. The title, Incendies, the French translation is Scorched or Destruction by Fire. It's the story of two twins in Quebec, Jean and Simone, who, after the death of their mother, when they're at the notary's office, they find these letters which have instructions of, oh, by the way, your father, who you thought was dead, is still alive, and your brother, who you didn't know you had, is still alive. And before you can bury the mother with a name on her gravestone, because she died full of shame because she hadn't kept a promise, until you find your father and your brother, then you can bury me with my name on the gravestone facing the sun. So this starts off their journey to the Middle East to find their father and the brother they didn't know they had. It's not stated what Middle East country they're going to or where their mother was from, and it doesn't really matter. People have kind of thought it's maybe probably Lebanon, because there's a civil war going on that we see in flashback, which lasted from 1975 to 1990. So Villeneuve deftly goes between originally Jean, the daughter's journey, and flashbacks to the mother's story, as the daughter finds more and more out about her mother that she didn't know, and the story takes twists and turns that I'm not going to get into, because you really need to watch this film. I mean, I know I say that just about every random review, but I mean, this is, I mean, for me it's a stone cold 5 out of 5, and none of Villeneuve's other films have been that. He's had quite a few 4 out of 5s for me, but this is just a stone cold 5. After watching it, I was just like, wow, it's just stunningly good, but never mind. So again, he doesn't go, you know, he doesn't do the thing that, again, a lot of filmmakers do and go, oh, 1970, present day, 1975, present day, 1980, present day. It just deftly goes between the two women's stories. And then near the end of the film, the brother comes over as well, because he's not really interested in doing it. He just wants to bury his mother and get it over with. But he eventually comes over with the lawyer, and their journey continues. Again, the politics don't really matter, and at times it is perhaps confusing to like which side are people on, but again, that just kind of encapsulates the Middle East to outsiders, because there's so many throughout history in the Middle East. There's been so many factions and so many civil wars, tribe against tribe. You know, so many countries have went through civil wars. So many countries have went through Muslims versus Christians and Christians versus Muslims. There's a whole section of the film about reprisals and, you know, orphanages getting bombed. At times it's a hard film to watch. At times there's brutality in it, but you can't tell the story without having that brutality. It's bizarre, because after about an hour I was actually going to go and get something to eat, but then I just felt that would actually be disrespecting the film in some way if I was actually to go and have something to eat and sit eating while I was watching it. It kind of felt disrespectful, so I didn't. The film is 131 minutes long, but it doesn't feel that way. It's perhaps, again, a bit of a slow burn, if you'll pardon the pun, to get into, but once you're actually hooked into the story, just like the daughter, you want to find out more and more about the mother. I mean, some revelations, you could argue, aren't that much of a surprise, but that's maybe just because we've seen so many films. But again, nothing seems forced or nothing seems cheap. Everything in the film is earned, and I just love that about Villeneuve films, is the fact he doesn't explain everything. You kind of have to work it out for yourself. You know, there are bits of the film where you might go, what's going on here? But if you're actually just patient, you'll find out what's going on. So again, for modern audiences that, you know, expect quick cuts and things to be happening all the time, Villeneuve films in general aren't like that. He takes his time. obviously he's French Canadian himself, so these people from Quebec, because he saw the play and was just blown away by it and kind of went, I'm going to have to make a film about this. But the film just opens up, and the world that he creates from the play, I'm guessing the play was obviously a little bit more insulated, but it's just a stunning film. And again, like I said, it's probably, well, it is easily one of the best films of the last 20 years. This is just the standard Region B Blu-ray. I also got the plain archive. This is by number 54 plain archive. This beautiful Region A edition. I mean, it's great performances, particularly by the two lead actresses in it, the one that plays the mother and the actress that plays the daughter Jean. Again, you get a nice little booklet. Oh, sorry. Granted, the booklet's in Korean, but I've always wanted to learn Korean. And you get nice little postcards as well. It's such a good film, and again, I'm not particularly up on every modern film made, but this kind of restores your faith in the fact that some modern filmmakers are actually producing excellent work. And again, the rest of these films don't quite come up to this level, but they're still very good and well worth watching. Again, I really need to see Polytechnic, his earlier one. Yeah, he's obviously, after the success of Blade Runner, he's now doing Dune and, like I said, Cleopatra, so he's kind of going bigger and bigger and bigger. Whereas this is, even though it's set on a big canvas in the Middle East, it is a smaller personal story. It's about how somebody you've known all your life, when you find out their past, how that changes what you think of them, and obviously finding people that you thought were dead or you never knew existed, how that relationship starts and moves and evolves, and it's just a shattering film. It's a moving film. It's an emotional experience. At times it can be a draining experience, but it's just so good. I mean, I can't remember the last time, possibly maybe The Phantom Carriage by Victor Songstrom is the last film that just blew me away like Incendies did. Phenomenal stuff. And I would urge you to pick up, I mean, you can pick up the Region B really cheaply from secondary sellers. I'm assuming there'll be a Region A in the US, Canada, somewhere. Yeah, stunningly good film. So thanks very much for watching. Please let me know in the comments below if you've seen Incendies and what you think of it. And hopefully we'll see you again for more random reviews and other videos. This is Solitude Ronin saying thank you very much for watching, and farewell.